According to the ancient whispers of our ancestors, there are things one should never bring into their home. Among them the white dog with the crimson nose. They say it is no dog at all, but a demon wearing a beast's skin. By day, it is a faithful hound, but by night it transforms into a man walking among us, waiting for its chance to strike. I have heard many tales of these spirits, these Yuma, and the families they have destroyed. There was once a wealthy landlord, a man of logic and vast lands. One day, his dog gave birth to a litter of 5. Among them was a pup with fur white as bone and a nose red as fresh blood. The villagers begged him, "Kill it now or send it far away. It is a curse." But the landlord only laughed. "A dog is a dog," he said. "White or black, red-nosed or dark, it is only an animal." He kept the pup. None of his neighbors would touch it. As the weeks passed, it grew remarkably fast. It was beautiful, yet fierce, a perfect guardian. But it had one unsettling habit. It didn't look like a dog. It watched, as if it were listening to every human word. One night, the landlord heard footsteps on his roof. Tap, 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 like a man walking with a wooden cane. He thought it was a thief and coughed to scare them away. The noise stopped, but the next night, and the night after, the footsteps returned. On the 5th night, he waited with his crossbow. At midnight, the sound began. He crept into the yard and looked up. There, in the starlight, stood a figure. It was short, the size of a child, wearing a conical hat and leaning on a cane. Terrified, he fired a warning bolt. The figure vanished into the shadows with a supernatural speed. The next morning, his wife's hat, which she had left in the kitchen, was found at the edge of the forest. Beside it lay a wooden cane. The landlord sought the advice of a neighbor. "I told you before," the neighbor whispered. "That dog, it is the demon on your roof. It climbs there to wait for its kind, signaling to other spirits across the miles." The landlord began to doubt, but his heart was still soft for the beast. That was his first mistake. Soon, tragedy struck. His eldest daughter, Vak, a girl of 18 and great beauty, fell mysteriously ill. She told her parents a terrifying secret. Every night, a handsome young man would climb through her window. He never spoke. He was cold as the grave. He forced himself upon her, and each morning she withered away. The landlord hired guards. He plastered the house with talismans. But it was useless. The young man still came. Strange things multiplied. In the dead of night, the sound of washing dishes echoed from the courtyard. When the landlord investigated, he found his own plates piled high, dripping with water. But no one was there. His grain bins were emptying on their own. His neighbor warned him again. "The dog is the one in your daughter's bed. The dog is the one inviting its demon friends to feast in your kitchen. If you do not kill it, it will kill you." The landlord finally resolved to act. But the dog was cunning. It knew his thoughts. It avoided every trap, every blade, and every chain. It was no longer a pet. It was the master of the house. One night, the landlord woke and checked on his daughter. A white shadow leaped from her bed over the head of the guard and vanished. Heart pounding, he crept to the garden. There, through a crack in the wall, he saw the unimaginable. A circle of creatures sat in the dirt, feasting from the landlord's own dishes. Some were men, some were dogs, and some were monsters with a dog's body and a human head. They were whispering, "We have the daughter's soul," one hissed. "Next we take the son. We will take them all, until this house is a tomb." The landlord fled in terror. He sent his son away to a distant village. He prayed to the heavens. He visited every temple, but the shadows remained. He and his wife grew thin. their eyes sunken with despair. Then an old nun arrived at their gate. She asked for nothing but a place to rest and a corner to pray. The landlord, desperate for any holy presence, invited her in. For 3 days and 3 nights, the nun chanted her sutras. She placed a small golden statue of Buddha upon the altar. The sound of her wooden bell, mo, echoed through the halls, a constant, rhythmic shield. During those 3 nights, the footsteps on the roof ceased. The shadow left his daughter's room. The courtyard was silent. On the 4th morning, the nun prepared to leave. She refused all gold and grain. After she vanished down the road, the landlord's servant ran in, breathless. "The white dog," he cried. "It's dead. It's rotting in the bamboo grove." Only then did the landlord understand. The old nun was no ordinary traveler, but a high spirit sent to cleanse his home. The demon was gone, but the lesson remained in the quiet villages of our past. When you see a dog with a coat of white, look closely at its nose, and if it is red, do not let it.